You know what time it is. 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 Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you guys today, giving you some dating advice or tips. We're talking about the Superman complex. Yes, the Superman complex, and dealing with it as well. Why do people get the Superman complex? We're going to let you know all those kind of fabulous stuff in this short video for you today. Do me a favor, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, Yes, baby. Listen, stay hydrated. Why? Because the streets are hot out there. Very soon we'll be saying the streets are cold out there. We need to keep it warm, that's for sure, coming in winter months. But we are talking about Superman complex. Yes, Superman complex. The reason why I wanted to bring this out was because obviously I watched recently a show, Love Island, and people were talking about the Superman complex. And I wanted to kind of break it down what the Superman complex, in a sense, really is. Because I think it's a term that sometimes can be used quite loosely for people who try to help people and maybe have gone too far on an occasion. And it can be labeled incorrectly, I believe, right? So it's the Superman complex is, really all about being able to put yourself in a position where you're saving people. And actually, the natural thing about the savior complex, or I should say someone helping people, isn't bad. But what we are talking about is the motivations that drive you wanting to help, and where those motivations lead you to at the end as a result, right? Because the motivations that you have drive people to move them in a direction where they feel they are the god in a situation, or if I don't do it, nobody else will kind of situation, right? Or energy. And that becomes problematic, not only for yourself, but also for the very people that you're actually trying to help, right? Because those other people that you're helping don't often then get the opportunity to also grow and learn in these situations. Sometimes you need to let go and let God. But let's talk about it. So number one point that we have here is with Superman complex is you say to yourself, I will succeed where nobody else can. You say to yourself, I will succeed where nobody else could. And that's one of the complexes when it comes to Superman complex. Number two, if they're with you, you can change them and aid them to be better and to do better. You believe that you can change them and aid them to do better because you are in the picture. So you're putting a lot of responsibility on your skills, your ability, and your being able to transform the person in front of you or people's in front of you. You say normal rules don't apply. Normal rules don't apply to you. They apply to others because you are above the rules, because you operate on a different system, right? I'm different from everybody else, so I can do things differently because when I do it, it happens like this, X, Y, and Z. And another thing people might say when they have the Superman complex is, they may not say this, but this would be action that would be is they have an unhealthy sense of responsibility. I've got to be there. I've got to do it. If I don't do it, who else will? I've got to be able to be there for them, and it's this unhealthy mechanism of trying to save people by heaping this huge responsibility on and chip on your shoulder that you can fly around in a cape saving Lois Lane all the time. And that's where a lot of people actually are when it comes to Superman complex, when we're dealing with it. And here's how you know if you've got the Superman complex, right? Look at your pattern of behavior when it comes to people. Are you continually in a space where you're saving somebody? Are you always in a space where you're trying to save somebody? Are you always in a space where you're desperately helping somebody who needs assistance and needs help? Look, doctors, nurses, counselors, all those people have similar energy where they want to help people, but they don't save people. What I mean by this is in a sense of it is not them that saves the person, right? Like if I'm not there, you won't be saved. That's not how they're thinking of it, right? But if you do have that kind of thought process, you might want to think about it. You may have a savior complex. Also, as well, the problem. Another way that you know as well. Last kind of point in that section. Another way that you know you have Superman complex really is just the fact that that person consistently has to depend on you always for a solution. Then potentially you could be playing the Superman complex role because you're always in that space where you are the solution to their problem. No, Jesus is a solution to everybody's problem, but you shouldn't be everybody's solution to a problem, right? You can help. You can be a source of revelation. You can help them. You may be able to be a feedback. You may be able to sometimes be able to counsel in certain areas, but you can't always be the solution. You can't always be the go-to because then that person doesn't necessarily learn. And I'm kind of moving ahead of myself quicker than needs to, right? And here's a problem with having savior complex, right? Number one, it doesn't allow the other person to take responsibility for their actions, right? If you're consistently saving them, things like, someone's got money problems and they're addicted and you always give them money because you want to save them, you are actually not helping that person take responsibility for their actions. Number two, you don't know if this is genuine long-term change has happened to the person because they're doing short-term. Their short-term solution is you. You don't know if they're long-term learning because the short-term solution is you. Always comes back to you. Number three, you becoming the source of dependence is draining on you. It's draining on you because you always have to be alert, alive, and on. And you can't do that as a human being because you need to be turned off at points in time. You need to be able to have downtime. You can't always be on alert. Eventually what's going to happen is you are going to burn out. You're only human after all, right? So those are kind of a few problems that happen with and you know what it is as well? Another thing is that you feel this invincibility as if no one can get you, no one can beat you, no one can ever do what you do. And it forms a level of pride and arrogance and ego. And what you need to know about this is the Bible lets us know, quite frankly, that, pride cometh before a fall. Your fall is coming. And it's coming, and it's coming, and it's coming. Why like you say it's coming, it's coming. Basically, when it comes, you won't see it coming because the reason why pride happens is because we're blind, right? So a little bit of humility is needed. Do not become someone's savior. Now, here's maybe some quick solutions. That's how we get past it, right? Slow down and think about your actions. Do you need to necessarily be there? Do you necessarily need to be there? Is it true that if you're not there, no one else will be there? Is it true if you don't stand up, nobody else will stand up? Those are some key questions you can ask yourself. Number two is, does support mean you have to take over? Oh, sorry about that. Apologies. Does support mean you have to take over the whole situation? Does your support mean you have to take over the whole situation and solve all the pieces of the puzzle? Probably not. Number three is also to ask a third party about the situation first. Consult with a wise counsel. Maybe they'll be able to speak a word to you that will be like, actually, you don't need to get involved. This person can handle it and they can sort it out, right? There's just a few there. There are several articles. If you wanted to deal with more Superman complex, type it into Google. Psychology.com is there. There's a few others as well. Mind Tools or something as well. They're there as well. That speak about Superman complex and how to heal from those particular things. But I just wanted to just put that out there because Superman complex is actually quite common to a lot of people. So listen, trust and believe. You don't have to be Superman, okay? Leave that for the comic books. All right, guys, love, like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, baby. You know what time it is.